Om Namo Narayana, welcome back. Today we're starting a new Upanishad, the Yoga Tattva Upanishad. It's relatively... Oh, hello, kitty. What's up, girlie? You staying cool? It's a cool day. The wind is blowing. There's traffic outside. It's just the three of us, me and two cats. Yeah, okay. You probably heard her. Yeah. All right. Let's get back to this. So we're doing the Yoga Tattva Upanishad. It's only about 4.5 pages long. If you are here because you're interested in yoga and you're looking for the Yoga Upanishads, I am reading, or by the time you see this, I may have read all 108 of them. Please check out others. Just because someone is a Yoga Upanishad, we shouldn't really see them as, well, that's just the Yoga Upanishad, and that's a Shaiva, and that's a Vaishnava Upanishad. And that's a siren outside my door going to the ambulance, to the hospital. It's not like that. They all interconnect. They all relate. They all reflect on each other. This idea of that's just a yoga, that's just a Shaiva, that's a modern thing where we've created these categories. Go back 2,000 years, they would just take any Upanishad that was there. They didn't say, well, this is this and this is that. Just because it says yoga doesn't exclude the others. So if you're here for a study, I would highly recommend that you really delve into more than just the Yoga Upanishads. I think you'll find great wisdom, having now read them, in all the Upanishads. And they all work together. That's what makes this great. They're not divided up and these belong to that religion and this belongs to that religion and whatever. It's not like that. Anyways, here we go. Yoga Tattva Upanishad. I shall now describe Yoga Tattva, or Yoga Truth, for the benefit of yogins who are freed from all sins through the hearing and studying of it. The Supreme Purusha called Vishnu, who is the great yogin, the great being, and the great tapasvin, is seen as a lamp in the path of truth. Brahma, having saluted the Lord of the universe, Lord Vishnu, and having paid him due respects, said to him, "Please, explain to us the truth of yoga, which includes in it the 8 subservients." To which the Lord replied, "Listen, I shall explain its truth. All souls are immersed in happiness and sorrow through the snare of Maya. Kaivalya, the supreme seat, is the path which gives them emancipation, which rends asunder the snare of Maya, which is the destroyer of birth, old age, and disease, and which enables one to overcome death. There is no other path to salvation. Those who go round the net of Shastras are deluded by that knowledge. It is impossible even for the Devas to describe that indescribable state. How can that which is self-shining be illuminated by the Shastras? That only which is without parts and stains, and which is quiescent beyond all, and free from decay, becomes the jiva on account of the results of past virtues and sins. How did that which is the seat of Paramatma, which is eternal and above the state of all existing things, and is of the form of wisdom, and is without stains, attain the state of jiva? A bubble arose in it, as in water, and in this bubble arose ahankara. To it arose a ball made of the 5 elements and bound by dhatus. Know that to be jiva, which is associated with happiness and misery, and hence is the term jiva applied to paramatman, which is pure. That jiva is considered to be the kaivalya, which is freed from the stains of passion, anger, fear, delusion, greed, pride, lust, birth, death, miserliness, swoon, giddiness, hunger, thirst, ambition, shame, fright, heartburn, grief, and gladness. Shall I tell you the means of destroying these sins? How could a jhana capable of giving moksha arise certainly without yoga? And even yoga becomes powerless in securing moksha when it is devoid of jhana. So the aspirant after emancipation shall practice firmly both yoga and jhana. The cycle of births and deaths comes only through the jhana and perishes only through jhana. Jhana alone was originally. It shall be known as the only means of salvation. That is jhana through which one cognizes in himself the real nature of Kaivalya as the supreme seat, the stainless, the partless, and of the nature of Satchitananda, without birth, existence, and death, and without motion and jhana. Now, I shall proceed to describe yoga to you. Yoga is divided into many kinds on account of its actions: mantra yoga, laya yoga, hatha yoga, and raja yoga. There are 4 states common to all of these: arahamba, gata, parikshaya, and nishpati. I shall describe these to you. Listen attentively. One should practice the mantra along with its matrikas and others for a period of 12 years. Then he gradually obtains wisdom along with the siddhis, such as anima, etc. Persons of weak intellect, who are the least qualified for yoga, practice this. The second, laya yoga, tends towards the absorption of the chitta and is described in a myriad of ways. One should contemplate upon the Lord, who is without parts even while walking, sitting, sleeping, or eating. This is called laya yoga. Now hear of hatha yoga. This yoga is said to possess the following 8 subservients: forbearance, religious observance, posture, suppression of breath, subjugation of the senses, the contemplation on hari in the middle of the eyebrows, and the state of equality. Mahamudra, Mahabandha, and Kekchari, Jalandhara, Uddiyana, and Mulabandha, uttering without intermission Om for a long time, and hearing the exposition of the supreme truths, Vajroli, Amaroli, and Sahajoli, which form a triad. All these I separately shall give a true description of. Among the duties of yama, moderate eating, and not others, forms the principal factor, and non-injury is the most important in niyama. The chief postures are 4: Siddha, Padma, Simha, and Bhadra. During the early stages of practice, the following obstacles shall take place: laziness, idle talk, association with bad characters, acquisition of mantras, playing with metals and women, and mirage. A wise man, having found out these, should abandon them by the force of virtues. Then, assuming Padma posture, he should practice pranayama. He should erect a beautiful monastery with a very small opening and no crevices. It shall be swept well every other day with a broom. It shall be perfumed with good odors, and fragrant resins should burn in it. Having taken his seat neither too high nor too low on a cloth, deerskin, and kusha grass spread, one over the other, the wise man should assume the Padma posture, and keeping his body erect and his hands folded in respect, should salute his deity. Then, closing the right nostril with his right thumb, he should gradually draw in the air of his left nostril. Having restrained it as long as possible, he should again expel it through the right nostril slowly and not very fast. Then, filling the stomach through the right nostril, he should retain it as long as he can and then expel it through the left nostril. Drawing the air through that nostril by which he expels, he should continue this in uninterrupted succession. The time taken in making a round of the knee with the palm of the hand, neither very slowly nor very rapidly, and snapping the fingers once, is called a matra. Drawing the air through the left nostril for about 16 matras, and having retained it within for about 64 matras, one should expel it again through the right nostril for about 32 matras. Again, fill the right nostril as before, and continue the rest. Practice cessation of breathing 4 times daily, sunrise, noon, sunset, and midnight, till 80 times are reached. By a continual practice for about 3 months, the purification of the nadis takes place. When the nadis have become purified, certain external signs appear on the body of a yogin. I shall now proceed to describe them. They are lightness of the body, brilliancy of complexion, increase of the gastric fire, leanness of the body, and along with these, absence of restlessness. One proficient in yoga should abandon the food detrimental to the practice of yoga. He should give up salt, mustard, sour things that are hot, pungent, bitter vegetables. He should give up the worship of fire. He should give up women, walking, bathing at sunrise, emancipation of the body by fasts. During the early stages of practice, food of milk and ghee is ordained. Also food consisting of wheat, green pulse, and red rice are said to favor the progress. Then he will be able to retain his breath as long as he likes. By thus retaining the breath as long as he likes, cessation of breath without inspiration and expiration is attained, this being called Kavala Kumbhaka. When Kavala Kumbhaka is attained by one, and thus expiration and inspiration are dispensed with, there is nothing unattainable in the 3 worlds to him. In the commencement of his practice, sweat is given out, he should wipe it off. Even after that, owing to the retaining of the breath, the person practicing it gets phlegm. Then by an increased practice of dharana, sweat arises. As a frog moves by leaps, so the yogin sitting in the Padma posture moves on the earth. With a further increased practice, he is able to rise from the ground. While seated in Padma posture, he levitates. There arises to him the power to perform extraordinary feats. He does or should not disclose to others his feats of great power in the path. Any pain, great or small, does not affect the yogin. Then excretions and sleep are diminished. Tears, rheum in the eye, salivary flow, sweat, and bad smell in the mouth do not arise in him. With a still further practice, he acquires great strength by which he attains Bhukshara Siddhi, which enables him to bring under his control all the creatures that tread on the earth. The animals with 8 legs, elephants, bulls, lions, they all die when struck by the palm of the yogin, and he becomes as beautiful as the god of love himself. All females, being taken up with the beauty of this person, will desire to have intercourse with him. If he so keeps his connection, his virality will be lost. So abandoning all copulation with women, he should continue his practice. By the preservation of the semen, a good odor pervades the body of the yogin. Then, sitting in a secluded place, he should repeat Om with prolonged intonation for the destruction of his former sins. Om destroys all obstacles and all sins. By practicing thus, he attains the first state, the Arambha. Then follows the second state, Gata, one which is acquired by constantly practicing suppression of breath. When a perfect union takes place between prana and apana, manas and buddhi, or jivatma and paramatman without opposition, it is called the Gata, or second state. I shall describe its signs. He shall now practice only for about 1/4 of the period prescribed for practice before. By day and night let him practice only for 3 hours. Let him practice Kevala Kumbhaka once a day, drawing away completely the organs from the objects of sense during cessation of breath is called Pratyahara. Whatever he sees with the eyes, let him consider as Atman. Whatever he hears with the ears, let him consider as Atman. Whatever he smells with his nose, let him consider as Atman. Whatever he tastes with his tongue, let him consider as Atman. Whatever the yogin touches with his skin, let him consider as Atman. The yogin should thus, unwearied, gratify his organs of sense for a period of 1 yama every day with great effort, that being about 3 hours. When various wonderful powers are attained by the yogin, such as clairvoyance, clairaudience, ability to transport himself to great distances within a moment, great power of speech, ability to take any form, ability to become invisible, and the transmutation of iron into gold, when the former is smeared over with its excretion, that yogin, who is constantly practicing yoga, attains the power to levitate. Then should the wise yogin think that these powers are great obstacles to the attainment of yoga, and so he should never take delight in them. The king of yogins should not exercise his powers before any person whatsoever. He should live in the world as a fool, an idiot, or a deaf man, in order to keep his powers concealed. His disciples would, without doubt, request him to show his powers for the gratification of their own desires. One who is actively engaged in one's duties forgets to practice yoga, so he should practice day and night yoga without forgetting the words of the Guru. Thus passes the Gata state to one who is constantly engaged in yoga practice. To one nothing is gained by useless company, since thereby he does not practice yoga, so one should, with great effort, practice yoga. Then by his constant practice is gained the third state, the Paricharya state. Vayu, through artist practice, pierces along with the Agni, the Kundalini, through thought, and enters the Susumna interrupted. When one's Chitta enters Susumna along with the Prana, it reaches the high seat of the head probably, along with Prana. These are the 5 elements, Prithvi, Apas, Agni, Vayu, and Akasa. To the body of the 5 elements there is the 5-fold dharana. From the feet to the knees is said to be the region of Prithvi, is 4-sided in shape, is yellow in color, and has the varna, or the letter, La. Carrying the breath with the letter La, along with the region of earth, and contemplating upon Brahma with 4 faces and 4 mouths, and of a golden color, one should perform dharana there for a period of 2 hours. He then attains mastery over the earth. Death does not trouble him, since he has obtained mastery over the earth element. The region of Apus is said to extend from the knees to the anus. Apus is semilunar in shape and white in color, and has Va for its bija letter. Carrying up the breath with the letter Va along the regions of Apus, he should contemplate the god Narayana, having 4 arms and a crowned head, as being the color of pure crystal, as dressed in orange clothes, and as decalus. And practicing dharana there for a period of 2 hours, he is freed from all sins. Then there is no fear for him from water, and he does not meet his death in water. From the anus to the heart is said to be the region of Agni. Agni is triangular in shape, red in color, and has the letter Rah for its bija, seed. Raising the breath, made resplendent through the letter Rah, along with the region of fire, he should contemplate on Rudra, who has 3 eyes, who grants all wishes, who is of the color of the midday sun, who is dabbed all over with holy ash, and who is of a pleasant countenance. Practicing dharana there for a period of 2 hours, he is not burnt by fire, even though his body enters the fire pit. From the heart to the middle of the eyebrows is said to be the region of Vayu. Vayu is hexangular in shape, black, and shines with the letter Ya. Carrying the breath along with the region of Vayu, he should contemplate on Ishvara, the omniscient, as possessing faces on all sides, and practicing dharana there for 2 hours. He enters Vayu and then Akasa. The yogin does not meet his death through the fear of Vayu. From the center of the eyebrows to the top of the head is said to be the region of Akasa, is circular in the shape, smoky in color, and shining with the letter Ha. Rising the breath along the region of Akasa, he should contemplate on Sadashiva in the following manner: as producing happiness, as the shape of Bindu, as the great Deva, as having the shape of Akasa, as shining like pure crystal, as wearing the rising crescent of the moon on his head, as having 5 faces, 10 hands, and 3 eyes, as being of a pleasing countenance, armed with weapons, adorned with ornaments, and having the goddess in 1/2 of his body, ready to grant favors, and is the cause of all causes. Wherever he stays, he enjoys supreme bliss. The proficient in yoga should practice these 5 dharanas. Then his body becomes strong, and he does not know death. The great-minded man does not die, even during the deluge of Brahma. Then he should practice dharana for a period of 6 gatikas, which is 2 hours and 24 minutes. Restraining the breath in the region of Akasa and contemplating on the deity who grants his wishes, this is said to be Saguna Dhyana, capable of giving the siddhis, anima, etc. One who is engaged in Nirguna Dhyana attains the stage of Samadhi. Within 12 days, at least, he attains the stage of Samadhi. Restraining his breath, the wise one becomes an emancipated person. Samadhi is that state in which the lower self and the higher self are differentless, or of equal state. If he desires to lay aside his body, he can do so. He will become absorbed in the higher self, and does not require going out or up. But if he does not so desire, and if his body is dear to him, he lives in all the worlds, possessing the cities of anima, etc. Sometimes he becomes a deva, and lives honored in Svarga, or he becomes a man or a yaksha through his will. He can also take the form of a lion, tiger, elephant, or horse through his own will. The yogin, becoming the great lord, can live as long as he likes. There is only difference in the modes of procedure, but the result is the same. Place the left heel against the anus, stretch the right leg and hold it firmly with both hands. Place the head on the breast and inhale the air slowly. Restrain the breath as long as you can, and then slowly breathe out. After practicing with the left foot, practice it with the right. Place the foot that was stretched before on the thigh. This is Mahabandha and should be practiced on both sides. The yoga sitting in Mahabandha and having inhaled the air with intent mind should stop the course of Vayu inside by means of the throat mudra and occupying the 2 sides of the throat with speed. This is called Mahaveda and is frequently practiced by the Siddhas. With the tongue thrust into the interior cavity of the throat and with the eyes intent on the spot between the eyebrows, this is called Kichari Mudra. Contracting the muscles of the neck and placing the head with a firm will on the breast, this is called Jalandhara Bandha, and is a lion to the elephant of death. That bandha by which prana flies to the Susumna is called Uddiyana Bandha by the yogins. Pressing the heel firmly against the anus, contracting the anus and drawing up the apana, this is said to be yoni bandha. Through Mula Bandha, prana and apana, as well as nada and bindu, are united and give success in yoga. There is no doubt about this. The one practicing in a reverse manner on both sides, which destroys all diseases, the gastric fire is increased. Therefore a practitioner should collect a large quantity of provisions, for if he takes a small quantity of food, the fire within will consume his body in a moment. On the first day, he should stand on his head with feet raised up for the moment. He should increase this period gradually every day. Wrinkles and grayness of hair will disappear within 3 months. He who practices only for a short period of 24 minutes every day conquers time. He who practices Vajroli becomes a yogin and the repository of all siddhis. If the yoga siddhis are ever to be attained, he only has them within his reach. He knows the past and the future and certainly moves in the air. He who drinks water of the nectar thus is rendered immortal day by day. He should daily practice Vajroli. Then it is called Amaroli. Then he attains the Raja Yoga, and certainly he does not meet with obstacles. When a yogin fulfills his action by Raja Yoga, then he certainly obtains discrimination and indifference to objects. Vishnu, the great yogin, the grand one of the great austerities, and the most excellent Purusha, is seen as a lamp in the path of truth. That breast from which one suckled before in his previous birth is now pressed in love and obtains pleasure. He enjoys the same genital organ from which he was born before. She who was once his mother will now be his wife, and she who is now his wife will be verily mother. He who is now father will be again son, and he who is now son will be again father. Thus are all the egos of the world wandering in the womb of birth and the death-like bucket and the wheel of a well and enjoying the worlds. These are the 3 worlds, 3 Vedas, the Sandhyas, the morning, noon, and evening, the 3 sounds, the 3 Agnis and Gunas, and all these are placed in the 3 letters of Om. He who understands that which is indestructible and is a meaning of the 3 Om, by him are all these worlds strung. This is the truth, this is the supreme seat. As the smell in the flower, as the ghee in the milk, as the oil in the seed, and as the gold in the quartz, so is the lotus situated in the heart. Its face is downwards, and its stem is upwards. Its bindu is downwards, and its center is situated in manas. By the letter A, the lotus becomes expanded. By the letter U, it becomes split. By the letter M, it becomes nada. And the half meter is silence. The person engaged in yoga obtains the supreme seat, which is like a pure crystal, which is without parts and which destroys all sins. As a tortoise draws its head and hands within itself, so drawing in air thus and expelling it through the 9 holes of the body, he breathes upwards and forwards. Like a lamp in an airtight jar which is motionless, so that which is seen motionless through the process of yoga in the heart, and which is free from turmoil, after having been drawn from the 9 holes, is said to be Atman alone. And thus ends another Upanishad. No, that last section did not talk about incest and getting it on with your mother and having children. It was much deeper than that. Please don't read it completely as I read it. I shouldn't have to say that, but you know people will go, oh, this endorses incest and sleeping with your mother. No.